Hi there. These days, people in government can be a complete liability and danger to their own public. And I'm talking about the Republicans, of course, that can be in government, that can pass laws that allow medicine to come into the market, that kill people, that can deny climate change, which basically means that you're not preparing, you're not using the energy that's available to prepare for the enormous problems that you're going to have if the oceans are dead and if the land fertility is dwindling. You're not going to be prepared for oil, peak oil, all that stuff. It is really time, I think, or it would be kind of interesting to see flash crowds organized, because I think that's a very good method in front of what's called Washington Capitol Hill, that basically barge into the Congress and throw out every GOP senator that's sitting there. They're all murderers. It's pretty clear that you can, for every GOP senator, and maybe not, or even Ron Paul because he's pro-oil, you can basically track down his record. And you might say, well, they're all the same, they're all corrupt, but let it be a warning to the people that are obviously killing people in government. You cannot be in government and simply kill people. It's just that's not allowed. It shouldn't be basically accepted. There's so little sanity in the world, and it's really why I talked about the new species called Homo suicidalis. And I can give a good example. In my neighborhood we have a project. It's called Emmashof, and it's a beautiful garden. It's a very good idea to build a nice garden, but I was reviewing it. It's like a city garden with all kinds of alternative ideas in it, and people have the ability to see things grow, which is good. But then I saw that it gets €500,000 subsidies, and I'm not sure, but it doesn't seem to be the only subsidy. €500,000, I think, could basically provide energy for this whole neighborhood and make it 100% green. How about not creating a garden? Because of course, garden grows by themselves, and how much do seed cost? The money, I think, will go into leveling the grounds and then building some very expensive building, because buildings are still very expensive, because the house prices have been driven up. But it's not going to go into anything green or anything that makes life specifically more pleasurable, because you can do that with less money. And I know that because my mother is a champion in making things grow, and she has a huge amount. And the only thing that she basically did was hire some land or borrow it. I don't know how it worked, but you don't need much money to grow things. That's the whole funny thing about growing things, about nature. Nature is there all by itself. It basically tries to survive on its own. So you only have to basically enable it a little bit. But €500,000 in this neighborhood that basically needs some patching up, that can really do with some better street equipment and stuff like that, going into a beautiful garden. And then the opening day, if you read the program of the activities on the opening day, then you got, of the 25 items or something on the list, 24 are about entertainment and magic and massaging and Zen therapy and soothsaying and all that nonsense. It's all bullshit. I might be too serious for this whole world, but it's all bullshit. There's just all this money being spent, or supposedly being spent, on having fun, while the world is basically caving in around us. You can't see it. That's why you have to look for it. But these days, you don't even have to look for it anymore. Dan Radigan had a show, and he talked with some Republican that basically talked over him, and he, the Republican, first of all, Dan Radigan says, well, Wall Street sucks up all the money in America, and that's why nobody has any money. So we should basically tax all that money, because it's stolen anyway, especially the flash trading money, for instance. That's just stealing, because you're front running the businesses, the trades, at a speed that nobody can compete. And then the Republican asshole says, taxing has never created any jobs. Well, of course it will create a job if you take that money back and you motivate people with that money to work or do something useful. Then of course it's going to create jobs. No, and then he goes on and basically he talks about the Republicans start to talk about the Gulf people, and he says that the moratorium does not add any jobs. And then of course he's talking about the offshore drilling moratorium, deep sea drilling moratorium. So he pretends to be concerned, he's a Texan, to be concerned with the jobs at the Gulf Coast, at the edge of the beach where the fishers are, and it would be good for those fishermen if the drilling moratorium would be lifted. It's just beyond pretending that or assuming that the people you listen to are complete assholes and dumb idiots. I did another video that I called Psychos and Idiots, but it didn't really work very well. But the basic idea was that you have an experienced middle class that was, let's say, smart enough to think of challenging things to do, and also smart enough to do it safely, or a little bit, so they got a lot of experience, but there were the undereducated or not so smart people that didn't get any ideas or didn't get any experience. They didn't learn much in the world. And then there's the very smart people that did learn a lot, but they were too prudent to try it themselves. They basically always wanted other people to run the risks. And I called the let's say the unexperienced group the idiots, and the very smart people the psychos. And you got let's say a bond made in hell, or a coalition made in hell, which is constantly which is the Republicans being the psychos that need the idiots, and the psychos always try to match up with the idiots. And basically they don't need this middle group that says, okay, well, it's a smart idea, but it's going to kill us. Or it's a dumb idea, so let's not do it. Or we tried it before, it didn't work. People with experience, with some mindset that really want to live in the world, that don't want to live in some special world, which is very rich, and that understand that there's real suffering. Psychos and idiots, and that I guess that also relates to an earlier video that I made about Sarah Palin, that basically her approach to the public is to find the idiots, because she goes out and she makes a proposition like climate change. What last winter was very cold, and of course the people respond to that are the idiots. So then she knows, okay, well, great, I'm the psycho, you're the idiot. We can work together and we can wipe out the middle area, the middle people, the people that have sense, because you're in the majority, because you got like the idiots are 60% of the people, and the psychos are 5% of the people. Well, that's more than 50%. The rest, the people that, and then at the same time you of course try to demotivate and disable anybody that tries to get some real experience in the world. So you're not going to own your house. You're not going to live in reality. You're going to live in virtual reality, in like Facebook reality. You're not gonna you're gonna be staring at your iPod and your iPhone all day. You're gonna be out of money because only the corporations get money. While a guy remarked very brightly, is that a corporation is a corporation because it can be treated. It has the right of a human, of an individual. But how do you apply the death penalty to a corporation? Because if a corporation kills, then shouldn't it get the death penalty? Shouldn't pharmaceutical corporations receive the death penalty? So that means, that's of course in legalese. That would mean dissolve them, dissolve the organization. Makes a lot of sense, but of course it doesn't happen because there's a GOP group that is still in government that's allowed to have influence, while it's crystal clear that they are that they don't respect the right to live of other individuals. I think it's shocking, and I'm quite convinced that there will be a response soon, and let's hope that not too many people get hurt.